What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sam Paddy Projects back at you again with another video on the Civic Type R. So you would have seen in the last video that we replaced the ABS sensor but still had the fault coming up on the dash. So in this video we're going to be doing some investigation and changing the knuckle, because I've gone out and got myself an Autel scanner tool, so we're going to see what is actually wrong, and I'm hoping it doesn't say that it's the driver's side, not the passenger side, or vice versa. I can't remember which one it is, but we're going to find out with this and look in depth. And also I've gone ahead and got myself a whole new knuckle assembly, because pushing out that bearing, because that's where the ABS sensor decides to take the reading from, I couldn't press this out myself on my driveway, so I got a whole new knuckle, and hopefully this one isn't buggered as well. But worst case, we'll have to get that done. But enough of my waffling, let's jump in, let's get this knuckle changed. So now we've got a few faults. Sorry about the rattling exhaust, that needs sorting out. So we'll have a look at the ABS fault to begin with. There's a few more on there. Test mode during working, yes. Read codes. Front right wheel speed sensor failure. Permanent DTC. Cool. So what I'll do, well, what I've already done, is I've cleared this and I've gone for a drive, and basically it's come back. So we know what we need to do. I think the ABS sensor is fine, but of course it's not speaking to anything, so it's probably saying it's not working. So we're gonna change the hub if it wants to focus. There we go. So we're gonna change the hub and we'll see if we can get this cleared today.
So let's get the car up in the air, get the wheel off and start stripping it down to get to where we need to get to. Please refer to my previous video on ABS sensor replacement to get to this point.
So if we went back and watched my previous video, where we'd be at this point. So we need to remove this castle nut, the retaining clip as well. But the problem is this ball joint isn't going to want to come out correctly if, like, say we just use pry bars and tried to hit it and all that stuff. It would be an absolute hassle. So we've got a special tool, a specific tool to take off this ball joint, because we want to reuse it. Some of them are just like a tuning fork that would go in between like that and just pop it out, but then we're going to damage this rubber bushing. So I've got a tool that will remove this without damaging it, hopefully. Let's make our life a little bit easier.
So let's remove this retaining clip. Grab our 19mm deep socket and our breaker bar just to crack it loose. And we'll do the rest by hand, but it wasn't easy. With that now nice and loose, you can just take that straight off. And luckily it didn't spin the ball joint. So on this one, the retaining clip decided to snap on me, unfortunately. But we just broke off the sides and we'll drill it out later to put a new pin in. But again, with the 19 socket.
So here are the ball joint pullers. Pretty sure we're going to be using this one.
So we slide it in underneath the knuckle, being sure not to damage the rubber on the ball joint, and then give it a zap with the impact. Same process on the other one. Yeah, I might have damaged it a little bit. Probably should have used the ratchet. a nice little clean up on the new knuckle and around the existing ball joints just to make sure no dirt gets in. Let's put the new knuckle onto the arm.
So, worth noting, I used a pry bar to get leverage against the tie rod end, just at the bottom of the knuckle to be able to tighten this top nut. It was quite hard to do, but we got there in the end. And then with the castle nut, I managed to just gun that on, but same thing, get yourself a pry bar, get it across there, and you'll be able to get leverage to actually tighten up this castle nut. So let's chuck in the pin and get this on the road.
Just got to quickly torque them down to spec before we put them back onto the suspension. But then disaster strikes.
So, disaster strikes. That is not an FN2 knuckle, that is probably an EP3 knuckle. So I've checked the listing of where I bought it off of eBay and it says FN2, but it's definitely not. Our bolts will not fit through to bolt it into the strut, so which obviously leads me to think it's an EP3 one. So I'm gonna have to find some beefy bolts, but not obviously the same thread as this, one thread down. To fit in there, to put it on the floor so we can drive it up and down the road to see if we fix the ABS fault, and then that way we know for certain it was the hub. So now, guess what, I'm gonna have to do this all over again and get my old knuckle with a new hub in it, press out the old one, put in the new one. But for now, let's carry on with the video. It's going to be all the same, it's just not going to be obviously perfect today.
So I found some beefy bolts that were off of my Mitsubishi GTO gearbox and I thought they'd be strong enough, so I just bolted them straight in.
So now the next problem that we have is it's not clearing the dust shield, the brake caliper. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take back off the disc, back off the caliper, and just cut into the heat shield or the dust shield just to make sure that the caliper can actually fit. All the fun stuff. Yeah, so we're definitely not going to be taking this for a test drive because as you can see here, yeah, that isn't correct, that isn't correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to click to where I get a new hub installed on the old knuckle. So currently we have Jordan from GoFlex Automotive. Tell us what's happened.
Once again, I've got to save your ass. No way to sum it up. So you've ended up, how many ABS sensors have you done?
Probably on my like, third or fourth.
Third, fourth, more like seventh. Am I right?
You are correct.
I told you, buy cheap, you buy twice. That's the problem you got, Sam. But either way, I fit the new bearing, and because your old one, you actually nicked it and just caught the sensor down there that's built into the bearing, doing said clear out. Now I understand why, because Hondas suffer from ABS sensor issues where they get stuck in. So now I'm going to supply your new hub and bearing.
So we've already seen how to do this, so I'm just going to click and we're going to be on the road testing whether or not we fix the issue.
Alright, let's have a look. So the main one we're concerned about is ABS. Moment of truth.
So, we have now finally fixed the ABS problem that we've had. We haven't got any codes coming up. The last time we've done this process, obviously the code came straight back. We've done the hub now, got it straight on, and it's finally ready to go through its MOT properly. And we will have an MOT car, which means we will be going to the track, which means we will be making more content on this particular car. So thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, hit that subscribe button. It's your boy Sam Paddy Projects. Shout out to Go Flex Automotive every single time. I'll catch you on the next one.
In a bit.